So he gained power from his tech business. He moved all of the tech from Silicon Valley to India because that was much cheaper. He saved billions of dollars by moving his company to India to create the India Silicon Valley. He then wanted to patent even health and healthcare. So what better way of doing it than to make something that is gene therapy that can be patented? A lot of natural remedies are not patented. As a matter of fact, 0 natural remedies are patentable, and therefore there's no money in it. So the best way to do things and to gain power is to find a technological aspect to it. We are so inundated with tech, as far as tech being the most important part of our day. Even what you're watching this on right now is because of technology, which has its benefits. The problem is when technology goes too far. Now, Bill was able to not only purchase almost 300,000 acres of farmland. Last count, it was 250,000. Estimates are now closer to 300,000 or more at this point. And what is he collecting it for? He wants you to be sick, fat, nearly dead. Yes, I'm using that quote. He doesn't want you to be healthy. He wants to have power. And the main thing about getting power is to control population. Again, eugenics. Eugenics was all about controlling the population so that we could only have, so that they could have only the desired people, the people that were considered industrious, the people that were considered to be useful and of the right intelligence level. Now, Black people were not considered to be fully human, so that excluded Black people in America from even having a seat at the table when it came to having a chance to get their 40 acres and a mule. How many got that? Very few, if any, after the end of slavery. So we have eugenics going on because population control is a way of controlling how people will respond and how people are to this world. So if you have access to farmland, then that means you have access to producing food. Now, we all know that Bill Gates is talking about people eating bugs for protein and eating all kinds of fake food, fake and 3D printed food, meat, fake meat that's grown in the lab, fake everything. He's got GMO manipulated mosquitoes with who knows what, and says it's all about health and healthcare to control population and control population growth. And it always seems to be for people who are the melanated to communities who are at risk for anything that Bill Gates deems as important. The fact is, we're moving farther and farther away from natural foods, natural remedies, natural lifestyles. We're becoming so plugged in that pretty soon, oh, what's the next thing? Bill Gates is saying that we're not even going to need phones, cell phones, because the next thing that's coming is to actually be the phone.
If you're a tech fan, get ready to ditch your phone. Bill Gates says the smartphone era is over. The next big thing? It's a high-tech tattoo. That's right, say goodbye to screens and hello to electronic tattoos. Imagine sending texts, browsing the web, and checking your heart rate just by tapping your arm. Crazy, right? These tattoos use smart ink and tiny nanocapacitors, so no bulky gadgets, no buttons to press, just pure sci-fi vibes. Bill Gates thinks these invisible wearables could wipe out phones forever. But wait, what about privacy? If all your info is on your skin, who keeps it safe? Could your tattoo get hacked? Sounds wild, but it's a real risk. Still, the perks are wild. Instant health tracking, no more lost devices, and maybe, just maybe, a less distracting life. So, would you trust your secrets to a tech tattoo, or are you clinging to your smartphone for dear life? Let us know.
Now, what people are saying about nanotechnology being in food, which was proven to be the case in Coca-Cola not too long ago, that Bill Gates was behind that. What are we putting nanoparticles into our food for? If you can call Coca-Cola food, I'm just saying. But why are we doing that? There is something beyond just being there to help, and that is where the danger comes in. When people are lulled into a false sense of security because they've given up their rights because of a pandemic that was touted as being life-threatening, and let's not downplay it. people did die during that pandemic. So there is that factor to it. The problem is that the solution, could that also be a part of the problem? Because what's happening while we're being distracted by a pandemic is that there are other things going on in the background, namely our food supply. What's going on with that? Why is it that farmers are not allowed to grow their own seeds? And Bill Gates was right up in there with Monsanto before Monsanto sold to Bayer. Let's just get it straight. Bill Gates has always been interested in population control, the health of people, and technology, and combining those three to give people what is less than acceptable when it comes to health and wellness. We have so much that is against just normal life. Now Bill Gates wants to take control of baby formula so that mothers no longer need to have to breastfeed, because he knows that if he crosses that barrier, then you've got workers, you've got worker and human beings from the very beginning until their death, or they're lingering instead of just being able to die. There's a wise book that says that men shall run to and fro for fear, and that people will cry and be bewildered and will wish to die and cannot. Do your research. It's in the oldest book that we have. That's still the #1 bestseller. A few things are in there. A few gems are in there to take apart and to look at what is going on in the world today. We're so far removed from what we were supposed to be doing, and we've allowed ourselves to be hoodwinked into believing that security and safety comes in the person of Bill Gates. What does Bill Gates have? Well, he's taken over the World Health Organization. He's taken over the world's health as it is. He's also taken over many, many governments and has swayed some of the most upstanding, what was supposed to be upstanding organizations that we're looking at for people's health. Now everybody is just a number, and pretty soon there'll be a barcode, and that's all you'll need to be accessed. Bill Gates has done so much to single-handedly contribute to the downfall of humankind while spouting the idea that he's here to save people under the guise of this noblesse oblige. We're not obligated to somebody like a Bill Gates, but unfortunately money talks and BS walks. Right? So what can we do? One of the main things that you can do is to take back the power of your life by refusing to be medicated with the food that you're eating. The food that you're eating is just chemicals. It's not allowing us to think clearly and to not have brain fog and cognitive decline at younger and younger ages. We're not exercising because we're becoming more and more sedentary. We're then developing metabolic diseases, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, overweight and obesity. And for all of these preventable chronic illnesses, a person like Bill Gates or someone similar to him would just say, throw a pill at it. It's managing sickness. It's not about health. And we have allowed somebody like Bill Gates to get in there and to just take over everything that is in regards to our life, our sustenance, and our quality of life. And he did it in front of our eyes. It's not a conspiracy. He's all up in it. And if anybody says anything against him, then he has the power to shut them down or shut them off. Eating real food is so critically important. Being aware of what's happening in this world, so that when we see something like an appeal on our fruits and vegetables, or organappeal on our fruits and vegetables, when we see the idea of eating insects, cockroaches, grasshoppers for protein instead of meat, even if we want to go vegan or vegetarian, the amount of manipulation and the genetically modified foods that have been completely abased makes it more and more difficult for people to even eat healthfully. Moving your body, eating real food, getting outside, getting in the sunshine. When you see people that are so bent on controlling what people do to the point where they don't even want life to begin for some people, and they're pushing the agenda of birth control to people that they consider to be less than. Because according to eugenics, why do we want more and more of the undesirables? Bill Gates has done a lot of harm. And unfortunately, at this point, unless the world stands up in unity to push back against all of these things that he's trying to accomplish, as if he's been given some ungodly power and ungodly permission to do what he's doing. Unless the world stands up and really starts to pay attention and get our heads up off the screens of our devices, spend more time with our family, get back to family and love and care for one another instead of being desensitized and caring only about material goods, Bill Gates will win. And if it's not Bill Gates, it will be somebody else just like him. What do you think? Comment it down below. What do you think gave Bill Gates his power? And what do you think that we can do about it? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And remember, too, that I also have a YouTube channel that's spelled Havsom, H-A-V for Victor, S-O-M for Mother, where we'll continue the conversation there. To your good health. Stay awake.